Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Inside Icon. And with me is Min. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks.
Good.
Thanks for asking.
That's good. I've gotten very rusty with these intros, Min, because David's taken over the intro. So, I don't know what to say anymore. But good to have you on here, Min.
I know.
Look,
I always look at your videos with David, and you guys are just a perfect match when you guys talk with
thanks.
each other. I don't know how to step up my game for that, but anyway.
Everyone's judging. We're doing great. We're doing great. Um, okay, Min. August. It's the end of August. My God, the year's just flying by. How have you been? How's your month been?
Yeah, I mean it's been good. August is when many people take vacation, obviously, even within our team. And even for myself. So, as you know, I took about a week off, spent time with my family. So, a good time to sort of refresh myself, obviously, and mental health is a big deal these days. So, always taking care of your yourself, your physical self, your mental self is very, very important. So I'm glad I took some time off and had time to spend with my family and for myself. Uh, and September is going to be very busy compared to August. Obviously, usually post Labor Day, when everyone comes back from Burning Man. That's just a joke, but you know, my point is that after Labor Day, things really pick up like everywhere. So, I've been preparing for Korea Blockchain Week. I think the entire Icon team outside of South Korea is going to be in South Korea in Seoul, and I'm going to be hanging out with you and David. So very excited for that. But
Yeah.
aside from that, just preparing just meetings around Korea Blockchain Week. It's gonna be um, it's gonna be good. Just seeing some old faces and catching up. And more importantly, the big reason, which is preparing for the Icon workshop. Um, Again, this is where we're gonna spend a lot of time getting your thoughts, everyone's thoughts about the future of Icon, talking about what we've um, done wrong in the past few years, what mistakes we've made, like how do we improve it, how do we fix it, constantly making improvement as we go forward. So preparing for that workshop is a 2-day workshop, but it's a very important one where we're going to have some very, very deep discussion. I've already, preparing materials for those. So yeah, that's going to be good. And lastly, just same thing as last month, which is keeping focus, being disciplined, pushing forward with what we kind of set out to do for the month of August. Just pushing everyone, pushing myself to get things done.
Yeah. No, cool. No, definitely excited about Korea Blockchain Week, the workshop as well. I'm keen to, because obviously there'll be a few things to discuss in terms of that strategy, because we have been pushing with our revised strategy from January, where we've been focused
Hmm.
on adopting a few more interoperable solutions, getting xCall out there. So, and we've obviously had a bit of traction there where we've delivered a few things within setting those goals. So keen to, yeah, definitely, okay, what's worked, what hasn't worked, and um, what's the next steps. Excited to get involved in that actual workshop. So cool.
Yeah.
So September's going to be crazy. Okay. So August, a bit of time off. Good. We all need that. And but there's been a lot happening still in August, right? So
Right.
um, do you want to give your take on what's actually some goals that were kicked in the month of August for Icon?
Um, yeah. I mean, I think August was a great month for us because one, we've been able to launch the public xCall incentivized testnet. As you guys all know, we've been doing focus test group over the past month or so, and we've made improvements. It's now on, full display. It's in full swing. So now, for the first half of the month, we've been monitoring that very closely, making adjustments. For example, just slotting in like a very entry level way to get involved with the with the test, incentivized testnet. Just creating like a very simple program. We realized what's needed, so we made that adjustment very early on. Thanks to Eric and thanks for the team. So yeah, that was good. Second, we got the IBC on testnet for Archway and Neutron. That was a good announcement. We put a lot of work into this, so the results is very, very, it's a proud moment for us. I know that, now we're just kind of awaiting for a few things to get it onto the mainnet. But, most importantly, I think this has created a lot of excitement around, xCall, especially not only from the Icon community, but also from the Cosmos community.
Mhm.
Very positive feedback. Some of the Cosmos leaders highlighted this. It sort of helped Icon, kind of revitalize our community. I think a lot of people who were, didn't really know what was going on at Icon. Now they understand, like, okay, Icon was still kicking, and we're here, we're still building, and now we launched something where it actually benefits both Cosmos and Icon. So, it's been all around a very good reception, and I think this is exactly what we planned for, and we executed very well. It was received very well, so very, very happy for that. And obviously, we're working with a few different chains at the moment. Thanks to this, IBC integration. We're trying to see, where else can we connect? Like, how do we replicate the success? Obviously, we have a lot of things under the hood that's happening. You probably know a bit more than I do because you're the ones that's actually running a lot of this. So, at the end of the day, what we want to do is like push applications such as Balance, Craft, and others to, use xCall and, be integrated, use different, interoperability solutions such as IBC and so forth. So we're going to have a lot more similar to IBC connected, and we're just very, very eager to get these things done.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's the IBC piece has been a great success. And for me personally, it's not, I didn't expect such a big rally from the IBC community themselves, like, because you're down in the thing getting the work done. So the announcement and everything was an afterthought, but the IBC community and a lot of teams just kind of got super excited and not just, hey, look, someone's an IBC. They've actually reached out to go, hey, Icon, what can we do? What can we do together? So many of the IBC chains have been in touch, as you said, Min, and we're in conversations going, yeah, this is what we've got. These are some of the applications we have. These are opportunities. So it's been a very eventful August. So not just from the delivery, the getting on testnet has opened a lot of opportunities as well, which is great.
Yeah,
Great.
and I just wanted to add that IBC has always been sort of our a natural first kind of pick, or because there's a lot of similarities between these two projects. Obviously, Cosmos has a lot of strong reputation, like a very strong ecosystem, very big, but more than big, very passionate community, and they share vision of Cosmos, which is very similar to what Icon, how we envision the blockchain industry to move forward. So we both believe in light client solution as a most secure interoperability solution, like when we created BTP, which is similar to IBC in a lot of ways. So yeah, a lot of those visions, I think, just bringing these two communities together and being friends and realizing that, hey, we are trying to benefit you, help you, and we're trying to help the industry. I think that is just like a very, very big positive for both projects. And it's not just like we're saying this or we're making empty promises. We've actually done the work. We've shown it. It's all the codes are written, it's there, it's live on testnet, it's happening, it's linked. We've done a lot of work to back the words and the efforts that we've, basically we've done what we said we're gonna, we've proven ourselves here. So it's great that we're seeing a lot of GitHub activities where, I shared one of the graphs today with the broader group that icon, we're hitting everything, doing everything the right way. There's a lot of developments happening. We've been able to put a lot of these things onto open source library. Now you could track a lot of these things happening, and there's a lot of activity within icon. So everything is sort of like piecing together, coming together. And I think we all know internally at icon that you and I know that the energy of our team is different, right? Like,
yeah, definitely.
It was, there were some ups and downs, but right now, there's very, very strong momentum. There's strong energy. Everyone's happy. Everyone's like eager to get things done. So we're in like, despite what the market is, like we're very, very happy with where we are.
Yep. Yep, no, definitely. Okay, so because we've got two big pieces with BTP and the IBC piece now on testnet, and I've covered this in detail in the ecosystem insights, giving a bit more in-depth around when to expect the IBC piece to go to mainnet, which we'll try to announce a date in the next dev update, so we won't get bogged down with that. But what I haven't what we've been planning, all of us have been planning in the background, and I was hoping, Min, you could give a bit of insights into. So we've got these big two pieces, right? BTP and IBC connected to Icon. They are predominantly very big pieces of work because it's not just xCall, the contract, it is also then the interoperable solution that we've built. Next steps, though. So what are we doing? How are we moving forward? What's our next goals with xCall?
Yeah. So obviously, getting one done makes things easier. So we want to be able to leverage this experience collectively, and we want to move a little bit quicker, getting xCall, built on other chains and making compatible with more interoperable protocols out there. So, obviously there's a lot of work being done on this front. We want xCall fully compatible with, solutions like Layer 0, Wormhole, and, many others that are out there. Like you want to be able to, standardize all of these, and we want to be available on or connect to chains that are, people use. So we sort of rely on our developers. So to kind of guide us, like which chains that you want to be connected to, what solutions can we build for you, right? So that's sort of like the starting point. And we kind of go with the flow with our users, the developers, and they want Arbitrum, they want Base, they want Sui, they want Avalanche. They're going to give us names, and we're going to prioritize those. And so what I'm saying is that we're designing, we are building, we are prioritizing everything around developer and developer experience, like their needs and their wants, and we're trying to make it very, very easy as possible for them to connect to any interoperable protocols that they choose. So I think in order to do that, there are other additional work, like being able to provide tooling, being able to provide manuals, like we want to be able to provide the most simple experience. And I guess one example that I could give you is something like Dive, which I don't know if people have seen, like kind of the more recent videos with on YouTube on that. There was a great interview. So like Dive will help contribute to this, and it's good to see a project like Dive, high quality projects like Dive go through CPS, and we want to encourage more developers, more people to create tooling, so in order to make it xCall and our solution like much more scalable. Um, so again, my point here is like what's next in the pipeline is, um, we have a few things in line, but it's always about prioritizing the developer and developer experience. And if we do this, extremely quickly, we do this very well, at the end of the day, Icon will benefit from it, right?
Mm.
So, um, it's, I think some of that philosophy has changed over the past year or so, where, we've tried to do everything the other way, where we try to make Icon, um, what's best for Icon investors or what's best for Icon users. Um, and that has not really panned out in a lot of good ways. So our kind of strategy now is, or it has been for a while, but now we're seeing the result of it is that let's prioritize developers. Developers are our primary users. We create things like what they want. We create value for them, and we slowly link those to the benefits of Icon. So we're working the other way around.
Yeah. Okay. No, great. Excellent. Excited to see xCall expand quicker across some of these big chains that have got a lot of activity on them. So it'll be good. Okay. I think we spent a solid amount of time there. Then, Min, the next thing, I guess this, I seem to recall early in the year we were all hopeful 2023 the markets, everything's going to turn around market wise. Yeah, like
Yeah.
from a development perspective we've been flying, things have been going great, but from a market perspective just in general it hasn't. And so people get worried, and we will. I think you do a good job of always highlighting that this should not be a worry, but I think people are still worried. So I feel like let's talk about how is Icon positioned. How are we going in terms of, yes, the market's terrible, but is this impacting Icon's performance in terms of what we're trying to deliver, or is it having an impact?
Yeah, I mean, I think this type of questions or in similar form and fashion has come out, repeatedly, and I think it's a good question. I mean, it's obviously something on everyone's mind. One, I think it's great that Icon is quite decentralized at this point. That we're getting a lot of contributions from not just the Icon or Parameta teams, but from like other members of our community. So like having a decentralized funding system such as CPS, like all of that is
Mm.
an extremely positive sign that like Icon is becoming more and more sustainable in the long run, with or without the Icon Foundation, right? So sustainability, it has been kind of a key focus for a number of years, and we're continuing to prioritize that and make that our you know, key focus. So, we want to make sure that Icon will last for not just like, we don't need to worry about just the next 2 years, but like we'll be ready for the next 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. And as long as, the blockchain and crypto, industry is there, like I think like I want to make sure that we position ourselves pretty well. And I said many times that, we are quite disciplined when it comes to managing our operations. So we keep things quite lean, but in a way, like we do that on purpose. There's a reason why Icon is still here after 6 years, and we're continuously growing our team. Right, I think it's visible. Like you're part of our team. You've been in the Icon community. We needed more bodies, more people. Like that's why we love recruiting from our community, and you're sort of a live example of that. So I think it's great. And it's like we're constantly looking for good people to join the project and growing our team. So I think that's a sign that we're doing things the right way. And I just want to say it's no secret that we are in a crypto winter. It's no secret that we've made mistakes in the past. But what I wanted to kind of again say is that we've all our mistakes are very calculated. We, don't put all our eggs into one basket. We want to make sure that we make the right decision. We, calculate our risk. We, invest in things, invest in our future on certain things that doesn't work out. We pull it as quickly as possible. We could always revisit those, right, and in the future. But if it doesn't kind of, this industry changes so quickly, and if the narrative and if the future does not kind of align what we wanted to do, like we need to make quick decisions and drop those like initiatives. And I think something like ice blockchain is a good example. It's something I'm sure our community is very disappointed about. It's something that I am very disappointed about, and it's I've always wanted to kind of see it through the end, but unfortunately, it is, just became a project that we, initially we fell in love with, but at some point, times have changed. So we kind of put that on the shelf. And, I want to say never. We could always, the codes are written. We've done a ton of work on it. So we could always bring it back if like there's a future in it. But that's what we do. We don't continuously, pour money into things that doesn't make any sense. And that's part of being a disciplined organization. And I think people should, credit us for that, not penalize us for those type of, decisions. So, over the last 12 months, we have, I believe like we've ramped up significantly, meaningfully, and we've been delivering regardless of the current market conditions. We've been constantly, you know, we've been working on our documentations, like I said, our development, metrics have gone up. Our community metrics have gone up. Like every metrics that we're tracking, it's going up. So we're headed in the right direction on everything else. So regardless of the market, we just want to make sure that we have the discipline and we stay focused. We just keep building, and everything else we believe will take care of itself. So all the benefits will come. When the bull market comes back, we can't predict that. We can't control that. But it will. I've been doing this for a very long time and made a career out of it because this is what I believe in, right? So I believe in the long term. So anyways, like maybe the last thing I do want to mention is that we're constantly building, right? We are constantly building. So if you or anyone you're a developer, we have great programs such as the CPS. So I encourage teams to pursue CPS funding, reach out to developer relations team. They can share more details about it. There's a lot of information on our websites. And again, Dive is a great example of how CPS can fill that gap of what we're building is and we want to build value for the developer. So if you want to be part of that, I think we're still here, and we still want to be very, very supportive.
No, agree. Okay, great. So I think we'll start to wrap this up, but I was actually wanting to ask you this. I saw you put out a tweet around the staking stuff. So some of the rules, and this is more America related, so some rules have changed. Is that the case? And the different laws and taxing implications?
I mean, it's pretty wild, but after all these years, it's very disappointing how our government departments like the IRS, SEC, and it's not just the US, right? It's all around the world, can't literally put their shit together and give us a clear guidance on how things should be done, right? So like a good example is like how do you do accounting for Bitcoin and Ethereum or crypto? And until most recently, um, you know, the we've gotten some guidance that these assets should be marked to market. But previously, it was we're supposed to treat it um, what do you call it? Not intellectual property, intangible assets, right? So you could um, put it up for impairment, but it's not marked to at market price, right? So it's not like stocks or bonds where like Bitcoin price changes every single day. So it makes sense that you adjust prices based on your based on market value, but accounting rules will not allow that. So it always gives so any companies that own or want to hold crypto assets, you're discouraged to do so because it's not going to be marked or fairly valued on your balance sheets. So, to avoid that, like you wouldn't want to really hold these assets on your balance sheet, right? So you wouldn't, as an entity, as a company, as a investor, it's very difficult to hold cryptocurrency. So, yeah, so I think that's one example, right? And we all know what's going on with the SEC and everything's happening with Coinbase, Ripple, is tokens a security, a not security, like all those issues. I mean, it still hasn't been figured out. Taxes is another big area where something like staking income is very, very confusing and quite frankly unfair. And a lot of people have been asking me, like what's IRS gave this new guidance. What does that mean for my ETH? What does it mean for ICX I have with you? So I just wanted to kind of put something out there, my thoughts. And the law is the law. We have to follow the law. And at this the guidance that they gave is that we need to pay taxes every time we claim our ICX or claim our reward, which is if you think about it, or if you're in the industry, is quite unfair because you shouldn't be penalized for holding an asset, right? And I think a lot of people have been comparing crypto to gold or ETH. I mean, sorry, for oil, where if you mine gold or oil, then you don't get taxed as soon as you mine these assets. You have to sell them in order to pay taxes, right? So in that sense, it doesn't make any sense. But there's nothing like crypto. So anyways, there's a lot of these like kind of tricky. I don't think it's fair with the current guidance. I think that guidance needs to be changed because we're a very young industry, and I think there needs to be more help from these regulators to help our industry like become more mature and stabilize, and like help kind of grow the industry, right? So
yeah, it's interesting because that's what happens here in Australia. So if you claim your stake, that's a taxable event. And then obviously when you actually sell it, you get taxed again. It's like a double whammy. Over here, like you open your door and they're like, "Can we tax you on that?" So
I mean, it's like things like that really discourage people from holding or investing in digital assets, and that's very disheartening. And a place like US, a superpower US, sets those type of rules. It actually affects like a lot of these other countries in their tax laws as well. So South Korea is a good example where once that news got out, what is Korea going to do? They're going to try to, somebody's going to try to, copy paste that to the Korea system, and it's unfair, right? So yeah, it's very interesting.
Cool. Okay, Min, let's wrap this up. Any closing comments? September is going to be crazy, so the next interview should be quite eventful with what transpired. But any closing comments?
No, I mean, I'm very, very thankful that we are continuing to grow. We're working very hard behind the scenes. So I would like to thank the community for supporting us through the years. I'm still here. Our team is growing, like I mentioned. We're pivoting in strategies in a lot of ways, but at the end of the day, we're trying to bring a lot of value to our community. So, yeah, just I just want to thank the community for following us and supporting us through this journey, and we want to continue contributing to, like we did with IBC. We're gonna do whole lot more of that, and I think we see the value that these developers are. I think these developers are, understanding the value. So I think we have a lot of positive ahead of us.
Yeah, and I agree. I think the devs are using it and giving us such good feedback where we're kind of able to go back and say, would this make life easier? Would this help with using this product? And we're getting those answers versus, just going, here it is, this is what you need to do. They're very much part of forming that process that we need. And again, I think your call out of Dive is such a good example, like, and having being in that process where the teams create this product, one of the biggest hurdles they often commented on was the setting up the initial environment and making sure it's compatible, especially when we start adopting more of these protocols. Like, this is the biggest bugbear, and if we don't solve it, devs aren't going to use our product. So, and it just so happened, one of the teams that have been building for us for a long time, and each time Icon Bridge and things like that, they've worked, like HugoByte have been part of it, and they've observed this as being as a challenge. They've gone out and found something and come through via CPS to go, this will actually aid us. And it's not to aid the new projects, like when we start taking on and doing new builds. It's more when these builds have finished completion, we create this kit that enables other teams to just deploy and start running with our setups to see how they can use it. So completely agree with you there. I think that's been a huge win, and a lot of stuff that's come through thanks to the focus testing as well, helping to identify some of these huge gaps. So exciting times ahead. I agree.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
No, Min, thank you for jumping on. Looking forward to September. Can't wait to catch up in person and in September. And lots going to be happening in September, so it should be a big month. Thanks again, Min.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye, guys.
Take care. Bye.